So, Something magic challenge that shit is shit up. When but you don't describe the problem. Yavish Siddhiva, the challenge, Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नाम आचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की कम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंवर कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन Govardhanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru Garanga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class. We're reading from 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, verse number 43. No, you pulled 44, but it's 43.
43.
Yeah, 43. So I'll just give to those who don't have the book. Okay, we can read together and I'll give to Prabhu.
You can have the, it's easier. It's easier.
Hitva Kalevaram Tirthe Gangayam Darshanadanu Sadhya Swarupam Jagrihe Bhagavad Parshavartinam Hitva Kalevaram Tirthe Gangayam Darshanadanu Sadhya Swarupam Jagrihe Bhagavad Parshavartinam. You can try and chant. Or you can chant. You can chant line by line.
Hitva Kalivaram Tirthe
Hitva Kalevaram Tirthe
Sanatanu
Gangayam Darshanadanu
Satya Swarupam Jagrihe
Sadhya Swarupam Jagrihe
Bhagavat Parsavartinam
Bhagavat Parshavartinam.
Hitva Kalevaram Tirthe
Hitva Kalevaram Tirthe
Sanadam
Gangayam Darshanadanu
Sarupam Jagrihe
Sadhya Swarupam Jagrihe
Bhagavat Parsavartinam
Bhagavat Parshavartinam.
Hitva Kalevaram Tirthe
Hitva Kalevaram Tirthe Gangayam Darshanadanu Sadhya Swarupam Jagrihe Bhagavat Parshavartina. Synonyms. Hitva, given up. Kalevaram, the material body. Tirthe, in the holy place. Gangayam, on the bank of the Ganges. Darshanadanu, after seeing. Sadhyaha, immediately. Svarupam, his original spiritual form. Jagrihe, be assumed. Bhagavat Parshavartinam, which is fit for an associate of the Lord. Translation. Upon seeing the Vishnudutas, Ajamila gave up his material body at Hardwar on the bank of the Ganges, he regained his original spiritual body, which was a body appropriate for an associate of the Lord, purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata tektvadeham punarjanma naiti mameti sordana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. The result of perfection in Krishna consciousness is that after giving up one's material body, one is immediately transferred to the spiritual world in one's original spiritual body to become an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some devotees go to Vaikuntha Loka and others go to Goloka Vrindavan to become associates of Krishna. End of the purport. Thank you. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayarupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhube Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Niveshesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine. So in this, Hare Krishna again everybody. So in this verse today, we're hearing about Ajamil's perfect ending of his life. I just want to see verses. So he was very sinful due to bad association in that forest when he saw this Kali Yuga kind of what is very common in Kali Yuga at that time wasn't so common, but he saw this prostitute and man enjoying in the forest, and so all those impressions forced and triggered in him very sinful desires, and so his whole life been sinful. And due to sins, the Yamadutas came, tried to pull him to Yamaraj abode, and because he had chanted Lord Narayan's name, which was just his son, the youngest son Narayana, he chanted Namabhas, he chanted sincerely without offense. It wasn't offensive, it was not offensive chanting, but Namabhas was a shade of pure chanting, and that was enough for Vishnudutas to come and save him, having a dispute with Yamadutas. And then he was given a second chance. So he was about to leave the body, but his soul was back to his body, and so he realized what a drastic situation was waiting for him and how he was saved. And immediately has renounced all of his life, the wife, prostitute wife, 10 children, or however many, I think 10 children or so he had. And he went to Hardwar. Hardwar is known as a very ancient city in the north of India. And Hardwar or Haridwar, both names are used. If you do the etymology of the word, the Har is for Hari, for the Lord, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Dwar is the gate. In other words, it's a gateway to Vishnu Loka or Goloka Vrindavan, depending on whose bhakta you are. You go and perform the austerities there, and it's an ideal place for pilgrimage. In other Puranas, it's explained that Hardwar, along with others, Ujjain and Prayag, and one more city, the Amrita, the nectar, the Garuda was carrying the nectar, it spilled to those 4 places and created kundas. So pilgrimage pilgrims come and bathe in those kundas to purify themselves and attain liberation ultimately. And so Hardwar is known for also Kumbh Mela, along with Prayag. So many millions of pilgrims come there. But of course, it's a gateway, as we said, Dwar means gateway. It's a gateway to various temples, including Badarakashram, which is not so far from Hardwar, where many, many, many great sages, including Narayana Rishi, went to perform their austerities, etc. there. So it was known. We can read in Srimad Bhagavatam that Uddhava, closest associate of the Lord of Krishna, he also went to Badarakashram. So many of the Pandavas were also going to Himalayas. So many of them were going up north to this area where they could perform those austerities on the bank of Ganges. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken on the bank of the Ganges, Maharaj Parikshit by Shukadeva Goswami. So being in presence of Ganga, or Yamuna, in those holy places, it's very sanctified and very nice situation to actually fully renounce, get the mercy of those pure associates of the Lord, and with that fully purify yourself and live the body in the same way as is described here. Upon seeing Vishnudusa's, Ajamil gave up his material body at Hardwar on the bank of the Ganges. He regained his original spiritual body, which was a body appropriate for an associate of the Lord. In a word-to-word translation, it says sadhya, immediately. So there's no time and space in a spiritual reality. And so in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is described how whatever we're thinking of in the moment of death, that place we will be carried to according to our karma and desire. And it's very instant, it's very fast. So sometimes Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati would comment, great Acharya in our lineage, that it's a little too late to sprinkle Ganges on the dead body of the person. Better to develop that consciousness before that. Better to associate with Ganga before that. Of course, there are rituals and it's still a benefit, but the better benefit is like what consciousness you live in your body with at that moment. And so better take shelter of Ganga before. And of course, even more than Ganga, take shelter of us pure associates of devotees. When you can choose out of the two, Ganga can purify for sure. She has the purifying effect on the body, mind, and consciousness of a human being who takes regular bath and drink in the water of Ganga. But it's a gradual effect. Whereas associating with pure devotees, even a moment of association with pure devotee can uplift your consciousness very fast, very fast. And the testimony to that is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada was Shakti Avesha avatar of the Lord. The Lord has empowered him to distribute the holy name, the whole culture, spiritual culture and science, God's science, across the whole globe. And those who were in contact with him, just for minutes really, sometimes seconds, have found themselves, if they were genuine and sincere, found themselves, practicing, giving up all the bad habits, practicing pure devotional service. Now that wouldn't happen if we just been coming with Ganga cups and just distributing Ganga water to everyone. It would certainly start some, maybe it will start as a bija, it will start something. People may start thinking about spirituality or something like that, but it certainly will be a very long journey. Whereas with pure devotees, it can be really like an elevator to the spiritual realm. And that's what happened with him, with Ajamil. He saw Vishnudutas and got purified, got association. He immediately understood what's wrong with him, what he should do. And immediately he could renounce. Before that, he was so attached to his wife, to all those children, to all this situation that he was in. Now, from that moment, he renounced, and then in Hardwar, in the place of pilgrimage, in association with other sages and pilgrims, he took shelter of Ganga, and then when he saw Vishnudutas again, there was nothing else left in his heart. He was just fully absorbed, and immediately he attained a spiritual body, which is also a rare situation. Usually, the soul when it leaves, even as a devotee, when he leaves, he or she leaves the body, he may attain another body in the material world. Already that body will be, in that life, he will be associating with the Lord. So in one sense, it's also like a spiritual realm, because if you'll be born again on some earthly planet and have association with Krishna, for example, it's a spiritual world already. Still, it's in a material realm. Still, there's some distress, birth, like that, but not. It's not already ordinary material life. So that's the last birth before going back to Godhead, usually. In his case, in Ajamil's case, it seems that he gained an original spiritual body immediately, which is an extra mercy. He could immediately attain spiritual realm, which is very, very, very nice. And there's a verse quoted here from Bhagavad Gita: one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. So, in other words, if you have fully understood Krishna as he is, and many people, even when Krishna was here on the planet, could not understand him, because they couldn't see him properly. In order to see Krishna and understand Krishna, you have to see them through the lens of pure bhakti, the devotional service. You can only understand Krishna through the means of devotional service. That's described in Nectar of Devotion, as described in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. And there's a testimony to that, how devotees understood Krishna through devotional service, how Krishna then really reveals himself. In same chapter, in the 4th chapter, verse 11, it's described that how you surrender to me, I reciprocate, Krishna says. So when 11 or 13, I better quote properly. So in any case, the principle is that Krishna knows desire in the heart, and he reciprocates accordingly. So if you want him rather than something from him, so many people are coming to the Lord and give me that, give me this, give me house by the sea, Jai Jagadish Hari. So this kind of attitude, yes, 4:11. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So, so we can see the perfect following. So Arjamil got understanding and now acted according to that understanding and attained the perfection. In Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami explains that one should take shelter of the holy places and perform his bhajan there. It becomes more effective. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 7th canto, chapter 14, verses 30 to 33, it's explained that one should visit all those places of pilgrimage. And Srila Prabhupada gives a very interesting purport there, explaining that the places where Radha Krishna deities are worshipped are non-different to those places of pilgrimage that that are mentioned there, including Bhadavika Ashram and others. I'll just quote that exactly the verse. So 30 to 33. The sacred lakes like Pushkara, and places where saintly persons live like Kurukshetra, Gaya, Prayag, Pulaha Ashrama, Naimisharanya, the banks of the Falgu River, Setubandha, Prabhas, Dvaraka, Varanasi, Mathura, Pampa, Bindu Sarovara, Badarika Ashram, Narayan Ashram, the places where the Nanda River flows, the places where Lord Ramachandra and Mother Sita took shelter, such as Chitrakuta, and also the hilly tracts of land known as Mahendra and Malaya. All of these are to be considered most pious and sacred. Similarly, places outside India where there are centers of the Krishna conscious movement, that's the verse itself, how Prabhupada translates, where there are centers of Krishna conscious movement and where Radha Krishna deities are worshipped, must all be visited and worshipped by those who want to be spiritually advanced. One who intends to advance in spiritual life may visit all these places and perform ritualistic ceremonies to get results 1,000 times better than the results of the same activities performed in any other place. Now, when I read this first time, I was like, wow, Srila Prabhupada, he's he's translating the verse, which obviously, if you look at Srimad Bhagavatam verse, right, it doesn't say where the centers of Krishna consciousness movement are all over the place. But Srila Prabhupada stresses this point, the way he translates the word, and I can tell it, Archa Ashrita. Archa Ashrita means places where the deity of Radha Krishna is worshipped. That's the translation. But Srila Prabhupada adds in the brackets in the word-to-word translation, such as big American cities like New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, European cities like London and Paris, or wherever there are centers of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada, as founder Acharya, demands and stress everyone to understand those places of pilgrimage like Hardwar, Vrindavan, or others are non-different to the place of pilgrimage like where you are right now, Gita Nagari Dham, where the Radha Krishna, Radha Damodar worship is going on daily for the last 50 years. So this is an important understanding that we have to get and understand that when you perform spiritual activities here or in such places, everything multiplies. Your piety or devotional credit that you get in such places multiplies thousandfold. And he says that you must visit such places. In other words, whenever we are visiting some country, we have to find out where Radha Krishna or Gaura deities are installed, Jagat, Baladev, Subhadra deities, or Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman. Where those deities are installed and visit that temple should be our first destination in the city to pay our obeisances to the local Ishvaras. Not local, of course, but universal, but locally giving the mercy to the residents of that place. So, and then we can attain such a nice destination, same as Ajamil did. And this river here, which is Tuskahara Creek, is actually no different from Yamuna right now, because there's the presence of Radha Krishna. If there's no Radha Krishna, this whole place becomes an ordinary place. Because there's Radha Krishna, this is forests of Vrindavan, there's Govardhan Hill, there's Yamuna River, and there's the cows, and deer, and the whole atmosphere becomes sanctified and becomes tirtha, place of pilgrimage. Of course, if devotees continue worship, that's what they do also here. They continue worship for 50 years, don't stop. So this is very important. As long as this yagya goes on and the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is recited daily, then this place is sanctified and holy. Right. So, any questions that you have? It's a shorter class today. We have to finish in 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and I have to help on the altar and start doing yatra. Sure, Tina.
Uh, you were talking about how the verse was speaking on how the devotees go to the spiritual world, our living body. And I was just reading in the module in the purport, Prabhupada's explaining how devotees will go to the planet within the material universe that Krishna's have those philosophies, right? But he doesn't say in that purport, like, and then they'll go to Goloka Vrindavan. He just kind of leaves it at that. And then I was wondering if you could speak on that. And then also, one Prabhupada disciple told me that Prabhupada had said that that's true. The devotees first they go to the planet where Krishna's having his pastimes, and then go to Goloka Vrindavan. But for Pujaris, that's not the case because they're already trained up. But I couldn't find that any, like, I couldn't find some citation of Prabhupada actually saying anywhere, so I was wondering if you could correct that.
Actually, yes, for those who are online. So the question is about leaving the body and going first to the Bhoma Lila of Krishna on planet Earth or earthly planet of the universe where Krishna has his pastimes going on, and then after that going back to spiritual world. So I heard this in many times, actually, many lectures of senior Vaishnavas. So just repeating, I cannot quote exactly the verse right now for that, but it seems correct in terms of training, like you get in kind of your last training before you go into the spiritual realm to eternally perform your pastimes. But as you also mentioned, if, and Ajamil is a proof right now here, if he got already trained, purified so much that he's ready to get the spiritual body going back to the spiritual realm immediately, then that could also be the case. And when you quote him that pujaris are already trained, I heard in Srila Prabhupada's memories by one Srila Prabhupada disciples saying something similar in terms of pujari service is a perfect, like it's almost like being in spiritual world already, if you really absorb in your consciousness, not just doing it mechanically or something like that. But because all your activities already are same, that's what's happening in the spiritual world, meaning serving Krishna in various ways, cooking, dressing, bathing, massaging, decorating, and so forth. Then, in one sense, it's like you're ready if you got trained properly. But of course, whether it's pujaris, sankirtan devotees, or any other type of devotees, it all depends on your consciousness. That you cannot trick. You cannot trick Krishna. And so, in other words, when your heart is purified and you're really absorbed in the love of Godhead, in Charita Bhakti Vilochanena, Santasadeva Hidayam Vitalaya Kayanti, that when you see Lord through the eyes of your love, that, as we said, devotional service, then Krishna starts reciprocating, and you may attain the body as he desires, and body that you're ready for, body that you have developed by your devotional attitude. So our desires are forming the next body. So if I'm desiring to enjoy this material world, I'll get somebody that will allow me to enjoy this material world. If my desire is to serve the Lord and please His senses, then I'll get the body suitable to serve the Lord and please His senses. And it really doesn't matter if you go first to Bhauma Lila. As I said, it's already been with the Lord. And so you'll just, basically in Bhauma Lila, you'll just finish up some tinge of residue karma that's left there. Say, for example, gopis or Vrindavan, when Krishna played flute and was calling for them to join the special service, some of them were stopped by their husbands, etc. And that burning anxiety that I'm not with the Lord when He's calling me, that burning lamentation, it says that it purified their hearts completely from that residue that was left in terms of karma. Huh? I can hear 7:45. Not enough? Huh? Okay. So I've been called to Pujari room now. So we can wrap up in 2 minutes. So any other final comments, questions? So basically, just the last point that we should not neglect Ganges or the holy places. Srila Prabhupada himself brought his associates, of course, as a preacher also, but they went to Prayag for the Maha Kumbh Mela, when it's like there's Kumbh Mela every year, and then there's Kumbh Mela once in 12 years, and then once in 144 years. There's like different Kumbh Melas which are very rare. Targa Prabhu could speak more on this. I think he attended one, or he was just around that time. So it definitely helps. Anything that gets you closer to Krishna helps. Every austerity and penance that you do on the path to spiritual capacity that you perform in order to be closer to the Lord counts. It's not like we should neglect all of that now because we have the holy name. We should not bathe, for example. It's not the case. We should bathe, and ideally bathe in holy water also. That's multiple effects. It's tripling effect. So even if you don't have access to Ganga, you can always remember Ganga by just saying Ganga, 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 right? Yamuna, Yamuna. So in this way, your consciousness, you calling for that mercy more and more. Mercy of Ganga, mercy of those personalities. So, and Hardwar is the place where Ganga descended, so it's a very special place in many sense. All right, devotees, I have to finish. I'm sorry, it's a shorter class today as we're going through Julan Yatra festival, and in 5 or 7 minutes, Guru Puja will start. Srimad Bhagavatam, Jai Srimad Prabhupada ki Jai.
Prabhupada. That's fine.
Oh yeah, dear.
So beautiful.
Hare Hare